It's Weather Center time at the Weather Channel. Northeast could be a little bit active for the day. Portions of the southeast, even the portions of the, well, even parts of the area around Virginia. Yeah, throughout the area, we could see a little mid-Atlantic wet weather for our day. Into Florida could be stormy at times. Even the Four Corners might see our share of the action, at least some wet weather into parts of New Mexico and Arizona. All right, let's talk about it on the way. We'll also talk about the day that was, including some incredible heat. You talk about heat, it's coming back again, but it was around in abundance on Thursday. Look at this, Vegas, 116, just a few short degrees shy of our warmest temperature ever. In a great city, Las Vegas, St. George, Utah. Not too far away there in St. George, Utah's Dixie, 113. Wow. Chatsworth, 108. Tucson, you tied one. Green River. San Luis Obispo, 104. Del Rio, 104 with a tie. Burbank, 103. Pasadena tied a record of 103. Long Beach, Moffett Field, even on Lompoc, 86. You tied one there. A bit above average, about 5 degrees or so into portions of Texas, also across the west. Of course, we know that all too well, right? Notice a couple of spots a little cooler than average. Parts of Minnesota, a little bit of Kentucky, like Lexington and Louisville, and also in the northeast, too. Temperatures were a little bit well, warmer in some spots. And we had a little bit of sunshine coming through. Well, cases in point. Boston, 90 was the high today. 89 was a high for the day that was for Thursday around New York City. 91, Miami. 88 towards Chicago. 90 towards St. Louis. 116, we mentioned, into Vegas and Phoenix both. Pretty warm, too. Around LA Metro, very, very hot day. 88 even, the high temperature for Thursday, all the way to Seattle. Hot day around the Space Needle, 94 for Portland. As we look toward Alaska, Fairbanks, 73. Bettles in the 80s, 81. Anchorage at 67, Barrow 48. Wow. All right, back to the contiguous 48, looking at the active weather. Again, southeast could become an action spot for the day. Even in the Four Corners, we could see some more moisture kind of sliding in there. I see the moisture kind of sliding in. Look at the water vapor, one way you can tell. The brighter the white, the best the water vapor is represented here. The brighter white spots indicate a great deal of that, kind of settling backwards, kind of seems like kind of working its way into parts of Arizona, New Mexico. Southeast, mid-Atlantic, and northeast looks fairly quiet, but we all know that that will change during the day. Some showers and storms may kick up a bit for us. We expect to see some strong storms that between now and noon could pop up, probably into parts of Iowa, Missouri, or maybe just a smidgen of Minnesota, kind of well to the west of Minneapolis. Minneapolis, we should really see a pretty good day. In the northeast, our wet weather will be scattered when we do see it. Again, scattered precipitation between now and noon, not a lot. Maybe toward Philly we could be wet, maybe D.C. and Baltimore too. Norfolk, some showers. Of course, I mentioned the wet weather across the western U.S. As far as fog, throughout the east, a couple of spots, maybe parts of Jersey, a bit of Pennsylvania, maybe around Knoxville, Tennessee, North Georgia, and around San Diego and L.A. Driving the PCH in the morning, be careful, use those low beams because we'll contend with some fog throughout the morning. Something else to think about in the southwest, heat. Some places not even getting out of the 90s overnight. So, for example, around Nogales there, pretty hot time there. Very, very sticky overnight. 70s across the southeast, pretty moist air mass, and it could be a pretty stormy place with some scattered storm potential in the southeast during the day. Little trough here, elongated area of low pressure, helping to enhance the storminess across the southeast. Little wet at times into Florida. Showers and storms popping up on occasion, parts of Minnesota into Iowa. As the day wears on, well, the showers will kind of wind down, moving toward Kansas City now. A little wet in the southwest, pretty quiet in the northwest and northeast. Showery and stormy. We'll eventually start to push the front offshore, which could kind of help us off a bit and getting into a better weekend. A little wet toward Boston, toward the city, even Hartford, Providence, Philly, D.C., and Baltimore. You have plans to get around Georgetown, maybe hitting Georgetown for a Friday night. Umbrella could come in handy. We could be wet, even toward Virginia Beach. Southward scattered storms may affect things around South Beach with a little wet weather, maybe Orlando, Tampa. Of course, in northern parts of Florida, like in Volusia County and Flagler, we could still use more wet weather. We may see it. There's a chance. Scattered storms maybe into parts of Texas, and again, the Four Corners between now and noon even. A little additional wet weather, maybe heaviest though into parts of Iowa, most widespread rains. What about the heat? Seems like where we don't have at least the threat of more rain, we've got heat, pretty oppressive. Not too bad though for Chicago, Milwaukee, or Minneapolis. And we've had a cool front kind of slide through and change things a bit. Northeast temps okay, but anywhere from the southeast throughout Texas, back in Arizona, the desert too, hot again. toward Vegas and hot again toward Phoenix, probably around 113 or so for Phoenix, 4-hour day. We'll talk about the wet weather, what it means to us on the roads, coming up next.
If love is your question, Psychic Talk has your answer.
Are you seeing two women right now?
Oh, man.
You think that they won't know? They're psychics.
Carrying on these two relationships, you are looking at fatherhood.
Is someone pregnant now?
There's no way you could get that right on the money like that.
About your husband, he's a very dominating man, isn't he?
Yes. He likes to keep you subservient because he's afraid of losing you.
Right. I am very impressed. To hear the ladies be right on target really amazes me. I just wanted to see if he has been unfaithful to me.
You already know. You've already had the evidence there. Yes, he is.
Wow, you guys are good.
Is there a baby in his life? Because I just pick up that he begged her to have this baby.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Everything that they're saying to you right now is
Everything
true?
is true.
Wow.
This is incredible. I can't believe it.
Everyone who calls will get a free psychic reading with our gifted psychics. It's free, so call now.
Call 1-800-463-4019. Breaking weather.
At the Weather Channel, we are always watching the situation.
The latest weather.
Things change in a big hurry. We're not going to let anything slide by us.
If hell freezes over, you'll hear it here first. Stay informed with Weather Center all day today and every day.
Now your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Otherwise, we need to talk about active weather and how it could affect the drive throughout our morning. Maybe around D.C., maybe you're making your trek in, maybe heading toward the train. You could encounter some wet weather. Norfolk, too. Raleigh, even throughout parts of South Carolina, maybe into parts of Georgia, too. Around Savannah, you may encounter wet weather potential. Yeah, we can see that during the day. Not the question. Scattered precip for the Northeast, though. Scattered, but in some spots, it may still amount to something. You'll see what I mean momentarily. A little wet, upper Midwest, and also Four Corners, at least parts of Colorado, even into New Mexico and Arizona. A little wet. It says scattered for the Northeast. That will be the case, but you see that dark green there? Right there indicates we could see some flood potential where you see that darker green. So not out of the woods. Been seeing a lot of heavy rain here as of late. Even a little bit of additional wet weather could still mean problems. So stay tuned to the Weather Channel. We'll keep the information scrolling on the screen to talk about more potential problems in the Northeast. Parts of Maine, bits of Vermont, New Hampshire, a little bit damp. Pennsylvania, and places a little wet, even toward Wilmington. Around Rehoboth Beach, at least a chance of more rain. For the city, for the latter part of the day anyway, a chance of storms. Morning commute, no problem. Going home, different story. Could be wetter then. Boston, same thing around Marine Park, around Boston Common, little more damp.
Top of the morning, everyone. It is half past the hour. It is Friday, July 17th, 1998, and we thank you for joining us. I'm Bruce Edwards. This is Vivian Brown, getting you through the rest of the work week, heading into the weekend, a typical summer weekend. By the way, 17th of July, today, I'd like to pass along some happy birthday wishes to a buddy of mine, Michael Bradley, PGA Tour golfer. I think he's nursing his back. I got to call him tonight or something, see what he's up. But he's just celebrating a birthday today. A young little punk.
Well, happy birthday, Michael. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. I tell you what, it's going to be a pretty nice day. Most areas, the Northeast, a few scattered showers. And Bruce will have a complete look at that forecast in just a moment. Right now, though, let's check out current weather across the country. Low pressure hugging the coast, the mid-Atlantic, and we've had some scattered showers this morning along the coast. The Outer Banks of North Carolina, mainly offshore here in South Carolina. And even as you head northward off the coast of Massachusetts, we have some rain this morning. Generally scattered light rain showers right now, and as we go through the afternoon, we could find some stronger thunderstorms scattered over the coast, but we'll continue to watch it for you very closely. At the same time, this frontal boundary will push a little farther east into central New York and Pennsylvania, so the two systems will kind of converge on the northeast. And with low pressure here, we've had some storms in central Iowa, and as we go through the day, this is the targeted area again for strong and severe storms. We've been seeing moisture here creep northward out of New Mexico into Arizona, and we've had some rain showers here. Actually, they're pushing off toward the south, and near the Tucson area, we've had some thunder showers, and even as far east as El Paso, Texas. Other than that, though, dry conditions prevail most of the Great Basin into Utah and California. So another very hot day is shaping up. 115 degrees. That's the official forecast high today. Vegas, you got up to 116 yesterday for a record. We have fair skies over the Pacific Northwest this morning. Low 80s expected. Seattle with partly sunny conditions, so nice in the Pacific Northwest. And pretty nice over most of the Southeast today. We'll find great conditions over the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest, from Chicago to Indianapolis, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Some very nice conditions. Let's zoom into the Northeast because we've had a few showers near that frontal boundary as it starts to push near the Niagara frontier, but notice the stronger thunderstorms off the coastline here with our other area of low pressure that is starting to move northward. So again, we'll watch these two systems coming together, and a chance for scattered showers from New York City to Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. So if you are planning a business trip, the big cities in the Northeast, take your umbrella with the scattered showers in the forecast. It certainly will probably come in handy, and low clouds will prevail, we think, around the Boston area. Following the front, back here, the front range of the Rockies, and we do have some showers and storms right here caught up behind the front. And some of these storms look pretty ominous here over the northwestern parts of Iowa this morning, mainly west of I-35. But if you are getting an early start and you live, say, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, prepare some heavier downpours. And right here, crossing over Interstate 94 from Bismarck, between Bismarck and Fargo, we have a line of stronger storms and very heavy rain. So be on the lookout if you're traveling here. But this area, again, our targeted area for severe storms, that means winds in excess of 55 miles an hour, 3/4 of an inch or larger in diameter, hailstones, and heavy downpours expected with some of the storms later on. And we cannot rule out some severe storms in the southern parts of Arizona and New Mexico. Other than that, just thunderstorm activity scattered over the Gulf Coast into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And speaking of the Gulf Coast, we have this little surface trough. It's starting to break apart this morning, but as we go through the afternoon, again, we could find some scattered showers right along the immediate coast, say over north central Florida. Actually, New Orleans, we think you'll stay dry for most of the day. Back into Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, including Dallas. Another hot day expected for you, Dallas. 103, that's the official forecast high from the Weather Channel. It's currently 83 degrees in the Big D. So whatever you've been doing over the last several days in Dallas to withstand the heat today, another day of doing the same things. 73 right now, Atlanta. You should get up to about 90 degrees. We have cooler air over the northern Great Lakes and some spots of 50s here, central Colorado and near Montana and Idaho. But it's 96 degrees this morning in Phoenix, and we're forecasting a high today, Phoenix, of 112 degrees. Again, 116 yesterday in Vegas for a record. Even San Luis Obispo, 104. Central California, the Sacramento Valley, will be heating up again today. Just how hot today? Well, let's check out the forecast with Bruce.
All righty, we got it coming your way. And once again, we will see the front in the east triggering some showers and storms in the low pressure trough. And then this low could trigger some severe weather in the Corn Belt. And we'll start to see the monsoons fire again in the Four Corners as we get into the early evening hours. But to the northeast, some scattered showers and storms ahead of that front. There's not a lot of moisture there, but there is some. So we cannot rule out a scattered storm. And the cloud cover will help generally keep temperatures in the 80s, about 88 in Boston, 86 in New York, but it still should hit about 92 in D.C. And then you get behind the front and some drier air. Very nice in Pittsburgh at 82. Same story in Detroit. Can't beat that. A nice looking Friday. And we go through the south, not much changing here, but with that trough of low pressure here, we're going to see a better chance for wet weather into Florida, showers and storms here, and that's where we can use the wet weather. We could also use it in Dallas, but not going to be much luck there, 103. But Austin might see a stray thunderstorm, 100 degrees this afternoon. Wonderful in Chicago and Green Bay, 81 and sunny. A little warmer in Louisville at 89. And then that low pressure area could drop those thunderstorms through Iowa and slip them down towards St. Louis later in the day. 88 degrees in St. Louis, 92 for Kansas City. And more heat in the west. The only real comfortable air will be along the coast, 78 in San Francisco, 81 in Seattle. But we see about 112 in Phoenix, 115 in Las Vegas, 102 as you get up towards Reno. So the heat is on. L.A., as a matter of fact, should also hit about 95 degrees.
Okay, stay with us. Coming up in a moment, we'll check the highways and byways for you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deerdorf. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask.
Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction.
You'll wait for some board to approve.
You'll get fast approval over the phone. And your money in about 10 days. You don't need to have money in the